How's it going, guys? Welcome to the NHC podcast.
Hello.
Hello.
I was actually going to introduce it there because I thought, well, I'm the only one that hasn't done it yet, but you've done it anyway, so it's fine.
Well, why don't we start again and do it?
Oh, no, because the start. This is the start now, so we're going.
Started?
Yeah, we've started. It's a double start.
Well, you can do next week. How's that?
That's perfect.
Right, I'm going to jump in and do it again. I don't give a fuck. Fuck you. You think it's your birthday or something?
That's a good point.
James turns 42 today.
Something like that. Tomorrow.
Yeah.
And Jamie couldn't even.
It's actually not. It's like last week.
It's
now.
last week, yeah. It's a few days ago.
He's old now. He's old.
And Jamie's still in
That's
court.
actually his knee. You can hear. Jamie's actually not at court. Jamie got out, but he's actually pressing charges
against old
Cliff Richard.
Celebrity beasts.
Oh,
did you like that segue there? Have I done that?
That's the noise Jamie was making after Cliff was done.
Ah.
Sounded like Jamie playing a trumpet being thrown off a cliff is what I sounded like.
That's just Jamie's voice.
Yeah, bless him. That's what happens, Jamie. You don't show up,
but
we slag you.
Aye, the hub or whatever the fuck it's called is now officially open.
Yeah, man. Aye, NHC hub.
The wee hidden lane in Argyle Street.
Yep, hidden
The
lane.
NHC HUB.
That's the one.
I should come up with what the abbreviation of hub would be. Make it into a real thing and just make it an in-joke. Oh, not an in-joke because we're talking about it in the podcast.
Yeah, I was going to say that's not an in-joke. That's an in-joke. We'll
talk about this off air, people.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're not going to do that though because we really just can't be bothered. Jamie, think of something good. Anyways, so
I was actually thinking there, like, don't let it consume my mind.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. That's why I just fucking put a bullet in it. And it's done. So Cliff Richard, wow.
I'm surprised he was able to abuse anyone. I thought he was like fucking action man.
Was that a Ken doll kind of thing? Yeah. So
it's a screwdriver at the back. They can just they can add parts on if they want. Oh, I'm telling you what, he probably needs a bit of servicing these days. He's probably held together by dust and
dust and
shattered dreams.
Shattered dreams.
Aye, dust, regret, and what's left of the fucking.
There's absolutely no
church.
one. There's absolutely no one now that's off limits.
Do you know what I was going to say? That it's getting to that point now where I'm not even shocked anymore. The thing is, everybody's like, "Oh, Cliff Richard, like really." Do you know what?
But why not? That's the thing.
The thing is, though, I'm worried about is like this poor guy. If this ends up not being true and it's just all bullshit, do you know what I mean? God, fucking God help whoever.
Well, I don't know how much information's
disgusting.
come out, or by the time this goes out, how many more things have come out. But
today
they have
alone,
they've had more information coming through.
Aye.
But it seems that way where it's almost like the floodgates open.
Yeah.
Is it because they're making things up and seeing an opportunity, or is it just because folk finally go,
do you know what? That's happened to me. I can talk about this.
Yeah.
I feel safe enough to do it now.
Pretty much, yeah. So I think I'm going with the latter. I think it is. A lot of these things are totally confirmed. Well, that's the guy from the Coronation Street guy went back. He's back in the show and all that.
But
that was all off.
That was all bullshit though as well.
So, I mean, but then again,
that's terrible.
I mean, there you go. You've got to kind of take it a little bit.
Yeah.
But then again, it's outweighed.
Yeah.
I reckon. I mean, it's one success
I
story.
think it's like, but then when it's something that serious, they kind of have to.
Aye.
I get scary though as well.
Aye.
It's like,
well, that's
it's basically,
as you're saying, like if you're a celebrity for the 70s, you're almost fair game.
Aye.
Well, that's kind of what I was going to. That's literally take the words out of my mouth there. Yeah, you're
the
right.
70s and the 80s seem to be
it just seem to be kind of
bad time for it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's because probably it was easier to get
because
away with.
shell shoots, fucking hell.
Shell shoots in the seesaw.
They come into fashion and it was like, right, easy access. Well, that's what they always said about Jimmy Savile.
What were they called again?
Shiny clays. Trackies. Noisy trackies. Do you know the one thing you always
suits.
The one thing you were always told about shell suits when you're younger, don't go, or any time,
don't get near fire.
Don't get near fire. Now, I remember clearly
as well, yeah.
going. I was put in a full shell suit outfit by my parents going to the local bonfire night.
To me, that's exactly the story of me.
I can still remember the heat.
Going that hard.
It kind of sticks to your skin, and I thought, even then, I'm like 7 or 8. I'm thinking, I know this isn't right.
Aye.
But why are they? And then,
I remember standing with a sparkler, right, like just next to the bonfire, quite happy. And I remember trying to walk away, and the whole sort of right side of my body was all like it's almost solidified.
What's that
like,
bubble there?
No, it went like kind of. It must have been kind of hard. I don't know what the fuck. I'm trying not to be is letting away as many innuendos as I can here, but it's failed. It went all hard and sticky. There you go. So.
That's what I think. Are you tickling your ear there?
It's in my mouth!
Oh, dearie me.
No, but yeah, so
So Shell Suit's bad.
And the thing is, it's Sir Cliff. I mean, wow.
Well, apparently there's talk today for folk who are on his cycling that the BBC have got a witch hunt against him and have never liked him and all that kind of stuff.
Really, but Jimmy Savile's alright?
Aye.
Wow.
Aye. What's that about?
Wow. Do you know what I mean? Just
maybe that's
unbelievable.
Maybe they got it wrong with Savile. They got it wrong with Rolf. So
maybe
this bastard's getting it!
I think there's no shadow of a doubt they get it right with Savile.
Savile and fucking the old didgeridoo man.
That's the one.
Rolf.
I hope so, unless
Oh, Rolfaroo, aye. Fucking was getting too busy with his Rolfaroo.
I was getting all the nationalities now. We've got the Australians, we've got the English people. We've
It's a
got
fucking Commonwealth, basically. Aye.
it's like,
I
I know.
Welsh guy for Lost Prophets.
Fuck,
yeah.
Of course, lest we forget. I mean, it's scary how.
John Leslie for our branch of the Commonwealth.
Aye.
But go back
At
5
least he was
years.
adults.
Go back 5 years. It wasn't a big deal. You can.
Do you know the guy from the Bay City Rollers as well?
Was that the manager or something?
The manager or
like that,
something,
wasn't
wasn't it?
Ah, right.
I'm sure it.
He was a beast, aye.
He was a beast, aye. He was a beast. Beast.
What about someone like? I mean, what if like someone like McCartney was at it?
I think I would kill myself.
Would it be off the table? Because if you think about it, see back in the day,
Him and Linda can run fucking schools now.
together.
I mean, Heather doesn't have a leg to stand on.
Oh dear God, that totally deserves.
You didn't need to hit him with it. I don't think. I really don't think. Yeah, go on.
A wee cola, Coca-Cola Life, sponsored by.
A wee cola tip up there. Do you like your teeth as much as they think they do?
Well, you only have to half care about your teeth now.
Yes. You don't need to really worry about it that much. As we say,
So I mean,
horrible sweets.
I know we'll top up that sugar level somehow. We'll get diabetes yet.
You know, diabetes.
Diabetes.
So
I mean, we'll put a pin in that one because I think we'll definitely be coming back with more Cliff stories because more will come out. Let's go on to sadder news because obviously Robin Williams.
Devastated.
Heartbreaking news.
I think that's just genuinely one of those ones that unified
We should try
everyone.
and play Jim Carrey in his version of I'm a Walrus.
Oh,
Right here.
aye, I've not heard that in a while.
That should happen.
That's really good.
Jamie, make that so.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
YouTube it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
But like, he must be one of those ones that anyone between sort of 18 and 30 grew up with some of his films because like Aladdin.
The first film I went to see in the pictures was Popeye.
There you
Fucking
go.
genuinely, so my first cinematic experience was
You must have been. I mean,
I was about 3 or 4.
I was going to say we always joke about because I mean Popeye was
Oh, kid.
1980.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
a baby. I
Mine
remember it like.
It's crazy how old that film is.
Yeah, man, it was fucking.
It's actually sinister, that film. It's
Was that
not.
not-
It's
Yeah,
not
it's
very good. It's not a very good film.
It's
One
a
of his
weird
first
film.
films after Mork and Mindy or something like that, wasn't
Was
it?
his first film? I think it was.
Oh, it would have been because he was still doing that in '78. You're right. Aye.
But,
78 was. He was fucked on drugs at the time, mind you. That was
Apparently,
high
he
on
didn't
drugs.
remember pretty much.
He doesn't know because I watched that Craig Ferguson guy, the American.
Yeah.
He's in America, the Scottish
Yeah.
guy. He did one of the last.
Guy I don't really like.
Take him as thing is. I kind of liked him in the Robin Williams interview because it seems to be if he's pals with the people. He's got quite.
He's a beast.
Aye.
No,
Oh no!
Not again!
No.
game.
But like it was a really kind of awkward interview with Robin Williams.
Why, Papa Jesus? Why?
Because you could tell he was kind of
Well, they're both
on the
recovering
edge.
alcoholic drug addicts. aren't they?
Aye. Well, that's the thing because that's how it's like very openly talked about on it. Because that's one of the few interviews where he really kind of goes, "Oh, I don't remember things," and "Oh, I was doing this," and you know, he's doing all the actions like snorting, and you're like, "Fuck me, man!" It all makes sense now. But he was high as a kite for Mork and Mindy.
For a dead man, he lived. Know what I'm saying?
Oh, aye.
He's fucking. I was genuinely like. I can
And I also didn't
honestly
realise
say
that
this.
most of Aladdin was improv.
Yeah.
Aye.
It's incredible to read about that because I never knew that.
Well, there's a big thing about that as well, though. With Disney trying to fuck him over,
They did, I
payment
think,
and stuff,
like,
and they actually gave him it was a money or something like that. It was a famous painting as an apology. It was like
Oh,
worth
he
millions.
only made about $70,000
yeah, and he was like,
off
fucking
it.
wait a minute, he's a fuck me
I mean,
over.
obviously it's a lot of money for
Yeah,
like
but
a week's
it's,
work.
It's not when when the film was probably made.
Oh no,
like,
it did it.
multiple millions.
It made about 400-500 million. Yeah,
No, I mean easily. Aye, so
I,
about that.
it's different now. I mean, talking about Jim Carrey, he's got his head screwed on because see nowadays he actually takes royalties of the films, not
Yeah.
just
Aye.
Yeah.
he's actually.
That was
he
Harrison
makes
Ford started that.
Aye.
Yep, he took a lower pay for Star Wars as long as he could keep his
Aye,
likeness.
that's exactly it.
And he's made millions, absolutely millions off it. I mean, he said that at the time. He's like, I never need to work again.
He's like the only one who wasn't a professional actor at the time.
Yep, but he was the only one who fucking...
that's right.
I think he's seen where the action figure thing was going, and he's like, you know what, I'm doing that. So there you go.
Oh, big time, aye.
But,
tell you you're wrong. I have no passion to wander away. I know where we belong. Hold on tight, here we go. Let's path that we take. Where it goes, I don't know, but I'm willing to state that it's the right way for us. So listen to me when I say, no reason at all. I'll be there if you start to fall. And after everything we say, don't push it all away. And as I hold you tight, just let me love you tonight. Just let me love you tonight. I don't know what to say to you. I'm lost for words, as you see. Only you know what I can do. I just need you to believe in me. We're going round in circles, discussing this too much. Feeling far too empty, reaching for your touch. And it all comes back to the same old thing. So listen to me when I say, let me love you with no reason at all. I'll be there if you start to fall. And after everything we say, don't push it all away. And as I hold you tight, just let me love you tonight. 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 So listen to what others say. Look at everything we made. Thinking about the memories, all the places we have been. Nothing can stop us now. Only me and you know how. I promise this until my dying day. I promise this until my dying day. Magenta mask right from my eyes to my neck. Gun barrels glint to keep the masses in check. At the end of the night, there's no wrong and no right. At the end of the night, moonlight is staring as I ride to my prize. Fistful of dollars, they will tell you no lies. At the end of the night, I'll be out of your sight. At the end of the night,
Aye, sorry, I was
Robin.
saying, I was watching a few films the other night there, and genuinely got quite upset. Like,
Aye, well,
and I've got family members I wasn't this upset about.
Oh,
Do you
it's,
know what I mean?
it's difficult.
I'm
It is
not
difficult.
bullshitting. Like, I was genuinely gutted.
It was just
For
a
man that-
genuinely troubled guy that
but
was
for
trying to
something-
hide it.
Yeah, but for someone, I mean, I'm old enough to know better. Do you know what I mean? Like, that it's not almost not a real person. Do you remember that? It's like
Aye.
you only know this guy. Your relationship from this is like going to pics and stuff like
Aye.
that and things like that. And through comedy, he's kind of one of the guys. In fact, he's one of the main guys that got me into stand up and things like that. Which knows me, knows that that's kind of one of my main things. I love just comedy in general, and that just alone just blew my mind. Like how a guy could be such a serious actor, and then come out with and just be so funny,
Aye.
and also be able to go on stage and do satire the way he done it as well.
And the
It
thing
was
is,
just
you've never seen a
clever
wittier
man.
guy.
Just
See on Parkinson
just, boom,
interview.
just switches it on. It
Aye.
literally just a valve opens and he just comedy.
I mean, I think it
wild.
was either Parkinson or one of those kind of big name. It was actually.
See,
'cause
I've
it
actually
was
seen most of
Parkinson.
these interviews. Believe it, I'm that sad. Like I know.
Oh no! The other
believe it
night
or
I
not.
spent about 2 hours watching them, and
It
it's
was phenomenal.
like he's
It doesn't repeat.
so fast.
Doesn't repeat itself as well.
No, he never
the
does.
thing as
He's
well,
always on the ball.
BBC Three as well. They
The
showed
same night,
they showed the
hours before he died.
It wasn't even. It wasn't even. It was like literally. It was announced. They showed the episode of Family Guy where Peter tries to kill himself because
That's right.
he gets cursed, and every time he touches something, it turns to Robin Williams. It's just fucking brilliant. But they actually showed that, and I think it was like minutes later.
By the time
It
it
was
finished,
yeah. They literally the episode finished and all that. Yeah, unfortunately, this is
And it shows you how hard working
Wow.
he was because he's got four
Four films
films
coming out.
4 films to still come out. One of them's Night at the Museum 3, which
Aye.
fair enough.
And even then, there was
Yeah.
talk of Mrs. Doubtfire 2
Two
next
as well,
year.
yeah.
Yep.
I'll be honest with you, that's one of my least favourite films. Is
It's not so much my least favourite
As now,
in
but
terms of now
at the time, I loved it.
even as a kid though, I was kind of like, I wasn't really.
Same with Jack. I wouldn't say I
Aye.
like that so much now, but at the time that was.
I'm in the only. I think I'm probably the only fucking.
There wasn't many folk
I'm-
interested
I'm
in
the-
coming back for Doubtfire 2 though. He was the only one that was actually properly on
Yeah.
board.
But I suppose I tell you what though, like I really like the film Bicentennial Man. Loads of people hate that.
I watched it the other
I
night.
absolutely love that
Now,
movie. It's just a really nice sentimental movie.
I had a little bit of a go at someone the other night for saying that was their favourite film. Obviously I can't.
No, right. It's not like everybody needs to fuck up, right, and understand that is not my favourite movie of his
No.
by any means, right.
But what I
it's a
think-
nice wee movie, just as it's just
Aye.
a nice wee
Aye.
sentimental
But
movie.
the problem I've got with it is nothing to do with the storyline. It's meant to be cheesy. It's meant to be over the top and totally sci-fi. It's too long.
Yep,
Aye.
yep.
It's
Kick the arse out of it.
way too. It's over 2. It's like 2 hours 20.
Yep.
It should be about an hour 40. It's
Welcome to the music podcast, folks.
Oh, aye.
I know, not
Oh,
being right
unfo-
though. It is too long.
It's
It
too,
really is
way too long.
Yeah,
there's a
I
really,
agree
there's a
with
good new one it was out this year, a few months ago, which might have been the last one that was out, which was called The Angriest Man in Brooklyn.
that. Not seen that yet. I've heard it's brilliant.
Mila Kunis. It's kind of an indie one because
Yeah.
I don't even think it was a cinema release.
No.
Or limited cinema release in America maybe. But again, it looks like his typical sort of. In fact, that's the irony as well. It was about a guy that's got a short time to live and he makes the most of it. That's what his character plays. So it's kind of like fuck.
What was the film he done? I've been trying. It's really annoying me. The film he done when he plays a guy. Basically, it's like it's in the future, and he's like a funeral director kind of thing. But what happens is they basically the whole premise is that everyone when they're born is fitted with a chip, and you record your life, right?
Oh, I know of this. I haven't seen this
it's
one.
phenomenal. I'm actually ashamed that I can't remember it. It's just been in my head. But he basically has to sift through people's life and all their shit, all the fucking
Interesting.
debauchery and just misery that people go through. And he's sitting in this wee room. He's got to go through this and try and pick out the nice
That
bits
sounds interesting.
for people's funerals. So everybody gets this, but these guys are sworn to secrecy. But it turns out he witnesses it's basically a serial killer kind of thing, and he's kind of trying to get stuff out there without being caught, because if he's caught, then he can be tried.
It's almost got a Minority Report thing about it.
Kind of get a vibe to it, but it was out before that. It was quite an old film, but it was, oh man, check it out. Anthony's googling it now as we speak. So
I think like the whole thing for me with Robin Williams, was how disgusting our press are in this country.
absolutely.
I don't read it because it's a fucking rag, but the Daily Mail saying, well, he done it because his finances were dire.
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
I mean, his
And
finances
I-
probably
And it's
were
actually
a bit
come out now.
dire,
Right,
that
into
the
it.
poor
He's
guy
got
was
fucking-
suffering with Parkinson's.
Aye, he's
Do you know
got a
what I mean?
daughter. He's got a
He's fucking
25-year-old
checked out before he
daughter
came to
and
anymore.
He's got kids and ex-wife and all that kind of stuff who are going to be deeply upset. That's not the kind of shit they need to see.
No.
But it
I did feel
proves the
kinda-
And
point,
the
though.
same with Fox News. Like,
Fox News,
hours later,
he needs drop kicked off the fucking planet, that
saying
guy.
he took the coward's way out and stuff like that. Fucking hell.
I tell you what else is funny.
It's not cowardly taking your own life, man.
There's an internet guy who's really sort of famous for just sort of being the angry guy that stands up for, like, you know, satire guy and all that. He's called Maddox.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He's been around for ages. It's
Yeah.
got the greatest the greatest page in the universe is his website.
It's actually quite funny, something.
Oh, it's absolutely hysterical, and 99% of the time he's right.
He's spot on, aye.
But basically, he clocked something on the first day which went viral, and he took a screenshot of the ABC News website, and it was like, their story basically said, we should leave the family, everyone should leave the family to grieve in peace, blah, 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 blah. He drew an arrow from that screenshot up to the top of the screen where a banner on the ABC. The ABC had commissioned a helicopter to live stream a
the
view
house.
of his house.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
So ABC, because this thing went viral that
Yeah,
he posted,
been fucking caught out.
they put a massive apology and took it down. I mean, what?
Took the
Disgusting,
helicopter
man.
down or took down leave us standing alone.
Just took it fucking out, man.
Brilliant.
Took it with just throwing jokes at it.
Surface to air missile that fucker out. But no, his wife, obviously they seem to be having a bit of an issue, but I mean, like, she done the whole Parkinson's thing on him.
Yeah.
And spouted that. I think that's a bit unnecessary. I mean, obviously she was being probably hounded for news. And
The thing is, though, she's probably upset. She probably doesn't know what the fuck she's doing.
I know, she probably
Do you know what I mean?
regret
She's probably walking on eggshells as it is. And then she's having to deal with this shit. Do you know what I think what's happened is, she's went, do you know what? He wasn't fucking skint. Well, look at the guy. He wasn't skint. He's a very talented guy, and he's just basically thought, do you know what? I can't live like this anymore.
Aye.
He's already got demons he's to fucking deal with on a daily basis. Then he hit with that. He's probably just like, do you know what? Fuck this. I'm checking it before I can't check out, if you know what I mean. You know,
And what annoys me so much,
on my own terms, like, fucking good on him.
what annoys me
That's the
so
way he
much,
felt.
and again it'll be a media thing, is he'll just be remembered for the guy who committed suicide.
Aye.
And
I don't think so, because, do you know what? Nah, like, I really don't, because
everyone seems to end up. I mean, obviously,
I don't think so, because there's people like us, our generation aren't that way, and we're mostly
I don't
90%
know,
is.
though, when folk talk about Kurt, as I think you're probably going to say,
That's what I was about to
as
say.
always.
Well, I don't. I'll be honest with you. I still
like
like
they,
Nirvana. and, you know.
they glorified his suicide note and all that, Kurt Cobain, and it's all, and they they didn't really reopen the case, but the internet thought it was, and they just brought out new evidence. And
Well, I know something really
it's a
cool.
little bit kind of like,
It's a
oh,
little
come on.
bit bizarre, right? That, like, you guys know I'm a big Nirvana fan, right? Like, we spoke about it in the show before, but
Yeah.
I deliberately never read through the suicide note and all the pictures. I've never seen them. Like, they kind of, now they re-released the pictures and that. I deliberately just went, why the fuck would I want to see that?
The new pictures they brought out, I mean, it's
I just know
because you see him lying there.
I've just never ever. There's no way. What I seen on news and different things is the background. That's fine, but I'm not that
Morbid.
macabre. I'm not.
Aye.
I'm not in it. I think that's a thing. It's personal, and it's just fucking shouldn't be shown.
Just because you're a celebrity,
I mean,
that's the
well, the
thing.
thing
It's
is, though, I mean, if I was you or I or anyone in the street, would your parents want your pictures possibly?
Exactly.
It's just disgusting, and it just proves it. And what? It's been 20 years since he's been dead now.
Aye, 20 years.
20 years. That's shameful that as a press hasn't moved on
Aye.
at all.
Well, that's what I mean.
That's fucking disgusting. Something needs to change.
Obviously, I think Robin Williams will get more of a legacy in a certain way because he's
Oh,
obviously,
absolutely, man.
he's more of a cultural pop icon figure than
I think
Kurt
both
was,
in
but-
their own ways, right? But the same total. You're right though. Like, Robin Williams is basically an actor that has touched pretty much every generation
Mhm.
from basically early 70s right through. I'm trying really hard not to bam up Moan's comment about the touching the generations and stuff.
You had, I know, it was
I'm really
so
trying.
hard for me not to
I know,
go.
I know. I could see, and I'm just looking up at the sky.
We had our
thinking,
moment of sincerity
I know.
where we let
But
that slide.
I know, I was going to.
I'm being really sincere here, right? Because it was a big deal for me when he died, because I was gutted, totally fucking gutted. And I'm not alone, and probably most people who listen to this show probably are the same, because he had the same kind of sense of humour as us, because he was a sick bastard, which is awesome.
Exactly, he
You know what I mean?
was.
He was a very funny, sick man, which is great. So, you know, but unfortunately he's not with us anymore. So, but again, like most comedians that are brilliant, they're usually battling demons, which is fucking
Always,
tragic. But, you
always.
know,
Well, I think
there's
it's
a
that-
clown and all that.
I don't appreciate his stuff, but Russell Kane kind of saying, see when you try and recreate that high of an audience, like thriving off everything you say,
Mhm.
but then to go straight from that to a cold hotel room by yourself,
Mhm.
it's just.
Oh, I
It fucks you up.
Aye, it would fuck you up. But then,
A lot of folks
He's
say,
shit.
I wish he'd seen how happy he made everyone. It's like, he knows
I know it's
that was nothing. That's not how it
But
works.
that's not how it
That
works.
wasn't
Aye,
the
that's
problem,
not
no.
how it works at all, man. It really isn't. I've got a few friends who are pretty bad with depression and different things, and they are some of the funniest people you will ever meet, and they do stuff that people probably have seen in different things, and I'm telling you right now, they struggle big time, and yet they write some of the best comedy you'll ever read. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm really saying about it, because I don't really like it, but.
talking of depression,
Speaking of depression,
one musician weighed in on the whole topic and basically put his foot in his fucking mouth.
yeah.
And considering the size of his
Yes.
tongue, it's quite a big mouth to fit in.
Hey!
Like you'd rehearsed
Best
that.
segue ever.
I wish I had rehearsed that.
Yeah.
It would be shit.
Right off his fucking face again, man.
That,
That's
that
harsh.
drummer's really sleepy tonight. He's
I know,
taking a
he's
while
like,
to
he's
cut from it.
fucking-
So, for those who don't know, Gene Simmons basically kind of said depression was a load of shit and folks should just jump off a bridge and kill themselves. They're doing it for attention.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Go on then,
What-
Gene, do it.
That's,
go on
I
in.
mean, that's the praise. He's
Clown.
like, yeah, if I seen
Aye.
someone on top of a building threatening to jump off, I'd be the guy telling them to jump.
Did he not quickly apologise though?
No, it's taken him 5 days or something like that since he
Is that
said
what-
it.
well, I was kind of being sarcastic. when I
And
said
he's
quickly
clearly been
sarcastic.
pushed into it.
Aye, oh no,
Because that's what I was going to say. His management's been like, for fuck's sake.
Aye, well, apparently they threatened to kick him out a kiss over it.
Really?
Yep.
They threatened to kick him out of a kiss. That's brilliant. He would just go and form Chris again though.
Just kick him.
He's just like,
Well, I think
he always the right
he'd still make the money out of it, but it was that sort of thing. Nah,
It's just disgusting. Aye.
But surprisingly, Nicky Six from Motley Crue was one of the first ones to jump on it and say,
Aye.
"You're
How
one
did I
of
thunk it?
Yep.
you're one of my best friends, Gene, but you're being a cunt."
You're being a cunt.
And he was.
I love that. It's like you're being. Well, that's. I mean, the fun is we're acting like but first they say it. You know what I mean, I know we joke about some pretty horrible shit on the show.
Pub
but
chat, you know,
Aye,
when
like-
you're a guy like Gene Simmons, if it's just a throwaway
Well, he
comment.
doesn't drink, so he doesn't even have that excuse.
Oh no, exactly. There you
That's
go.
what
But I
I was
mean,
gonna say.
you can't bring these opinions into the light of day when you're a massive figure, because it's going to,
No.
you know, even if you're a little bit deluded and
But
too,
honestly, I
too
think
rich
he
for
said
your own
it
good.
just to get a fucking.
Aye, I think he's
just to get a bit of fucking notoriety.
Well, the thing is,
Dick.
he's got one of those things in him.
He's got a messiah complex.
It's
Yep.
like he needs
Yep.
he needs the attention. So I think he didn't care about what the consequence was. Again, he only probably said, "Oh yeah, it was wrong," because
Do you remember it was-
someone went, "Look, for your sake of your career and the rest
Aye.
of your legacy, don't say any more."
Do you remember he done that show? It was like in Essex or something like that. And he was trying to get like,
Rock
a
show.
band. He brought a rock band.
That was
We
funny.
did
the
two series of that.
little Chris guy.
Aye,
I've never heard. I don't know if he's big or not. What he's doing now, right?
yeah,
But
he's just average.
It's Big Chris. Oh, well,
yeah,
I ruined it.
that sounds like a fucking air raid siren or something. Like these people. No.
No, it's like one of those things we were talking about before, about how it's like canned laughter and booing from like the 20s. It's just really
It's
old.
Like the dead clap kind. I was saying, sorry, yeah. That show was just, when you watched that was really worrying because it just said a lot about him.
Aye.
And he was on that to make money. That was
Aye.
it.
Well, there was two series. Like the first series was he went to kind of posher school,
Right.
and like all the kids went, "Oh, who's this old bitch?"
Old bitch.
And he's like, he breaks out, "God Gave Rock and Roll to You," which isn't even a Kiss song. They covered it.
Yeah.
Anyway, breaks out.
Oh, he
that.
probably thinks it's his.
Aye.
Aye.
Breaks out, and the
Probably
kids are all
remembers
just
right
looking at each other, going,
The fuck is this
"Aye,
shit?
what's this? Who's this old spunker?"
I love it. Coming out with the best lines today, spunker.
Anyway,
Fucking spunker. Would you use that?
Superb.
posh band in school get together, do the gig. Second series was the one with little Chris, and that was that school was the school that the Guys for Darkness had been to. And
Oh,
at the time, this
right.
was just after Permission to Land was huge, so the Darkness had paid
Jip,
for,
jip, 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 jip.
they'd paid for like the music suite in that school and stuff like that. And seemingly there's a lot of interviews with kids going, "Oh, they're my heroes because they come for this school and they've made it big and they've still care about community and all that nonsense." But Gene Simmons had it all edited out.
That's
What?
what a clown.
Oh, fucking.
Don't
so he's
Bellend.
don't say anything good about any other musician.
Aye. Oh no, he did the whole eulogy at the start of this. Is a decrepit town and all that kind of stuff. And
Eulogy point.
I'm doing them a favour by being here, kind of. Oh, you.
You're a good guy. Just
Aye.
fuck off back to the
He
fucking.
is.
Why
cave
has
that you
General
cr-
Watts
crawled
not
out of.
killed you yet?
Have
you
you seen
prick?
how horrendous his hair is, though?
Aye.
It's fake, and yet he
Aye.
still chooses to have that style.
Yeah, well, you
Oh,
got.
Donald Trump does the same.
I was going to
Oh
say.
God, that. Do you know what? Donald Trump, Robin Williams made a funny joke about him on Craig Ferguson. He said, "I think it's like another creature. It just goes, "Rah," and it just sort of talks in his head and goes, go and do this, go and make me money." And it's like it goes off and it makes. He's like he didn't.
He goes and makes money for him.
It makes money, and when he's sleeping, his hair goes off and does business for him, and then comes back and goes. You know, it fills him in and all the details and the way he just. It's because somebody just mentioned Donald Trump and he went off into this as if he'd planned it, but he
What's the
probably
Family Guy
hadn't.
thing as well? Though? Like he was
Well,
like, it's
Peter's
like
his starting point.
his starting point. And he just goes like that. Religion, blah, 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 and he just fucking starts
Aye,
off everyone.
aye.
He's like, religion. He's like, someone else, Peter, and Peter's just like, I want to die. He just can't have a conversation with him. So, But anyway, yeah.
We'll go into something happier.
We all love Robin Williams, and we're all fucking devastated.
We could talk about
Gene
it
Simmons,
for hours.
because you're probably going to sue us anyway, you're a fucking cunt.
Yes, you are a cunt.
Aye, do you know what, man? See if you're going to sue us, fucking come at it, because you're a piece of fucking
We've got no money anyway, you dick.
cunt juice.
Spunker cunt juice.
Spunker cunt juice.
Just
Aye,
So-
you know what, you're a dickless cunt.
primed for roasting.
I heard that ages ago. Dickless cunt, brilliant. Anyway,
So
sorry.
it's pretty good. On to music again.
Yay!
Obviously, big
Music
gig
podcast,
news
that.
was the Biffy gigs in December.
Yeah, man,
Like,
yeah.
Massively
sold out in
fast.
seconds.
But literally, some folk couldn't get them 5 seconds after they logged on.
Makes you almost feel good about yourself that you saw it.
6,000
I've seen them
tickets.
all
I know.
at the time they came out, so I feel good about myself.
Yeah, well, that's kind of my point. It's like they done these shows in Tuts where they played the
Yep.
albums, and that was when they only had 3 albums.
Yep.
So now they're obviously double that amount now, and they can do the same amount of shows, but twice as many
Twice as
albums, so they can incorporate it. And it just seems like they just know exactly what they're doing,
Fucking
obviously
right.
on a bigger stage. And the thing is, I mean, 6,000 tickets. No matter who you are, for it. Obviously
Amazing.
they could have just done it in the SECC and done
Yep.
one gig for that, but the whole point was
Ah,
2,000 a night. And it's kind of like, it just shows you how folk are just so eager and excited
Need
to
to
see.
be- Yeah,
They need to be
It's
there.
not that as well. I think they want to be a part of something that's like in their wee heads is, oh, this is music history, and you're like, it's not music history.
Kind of
man,
is
come
in the way
on.
that
It is a little
they're
bit.
selling this as the end of their second chapter. So obviously,
Aye.
Puzzle, Revolutions, and Opposites being a chapter.
Yeah.
I like the way I like the way they looked at it in those terms, because if you look at like the years that kind of worked in,
Oh, aye.
it's kind of like it's sort of 7 years and 7 years almost
Right.
from
Ah.
Puzzle
it-
though,
it kinda comes full
absolutely
circle.
just. Oh, that was the album that
Aye.
made them. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely,
no,
of
and
course.
that sort of thing, because it's like albums 1 and 3, or albums 1 and 4, 2 and
Yeah, yeah,
5,
yeah.
and
It's a clever way they've done
Aye.
it. Very
so,
clever.
so that way they're still getting the old guard, and
Yeah.
the folk have come.
That's
Like
clever, man.
myself
That's
at a
clever. You're
later
right.
time.
Yeah, absolutely spot on.
But on that, like, what's your favourite and least favourite of Biffy albums?
Well, I go between it all the time. If I was to sit and listen to them all through,
Puzzle's my favourite.
see, I'd agree with that. Puzzle's my favourite because
Even though, but I absolutely love the first album though as well.
for me, just purely in the sense that it's just because of the memories of it. It is probably the first album
Well, the first
or
album-
the second album.
The second album for me is okay. I think there's a lot of filler in there as well. I think there's a lot of fucking about. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I'm all about the melody, motherfuckers. But I get what they're trying to do. I really get it. But it was almost self-sabotage in a way, because some of the stuff they were doing, you're like, what the fuck he's doing? You got a second album here. Behave. You know,
Well, I
but-
don't know, because
but
at the
then
time
they got
it
in their
was
system.
it was a big deal at the time, because I mean
Oh,
that,
yeah.
that second album they played main stage 10 apart.
What was the big song of that again?
Questions and answers.
Questions and Answers. That's a
Well, I
fucking
mean,
great, that's a great
The
track.
thing was, I mean, all the videos from that album, there was like 4 singles. They all get played on MTV2. They were getting loads
That's
of
probably
press.
that's probably my favourite Biffy song actually. Questions and Answers.
Oh, it's brilliant! A great video as well.
Yeah.
But no, I
It's in
think
the park, innit? I just wondered about the park.
they're going through. I think it's in Kilmarnock or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
aye.
yeah,
And it's
yeah.
because Simon had really broken his leg. So
That's-
they,
that reminds me
So he's in
that
the
actually
wheelchair.
really reminds me of MTV2 and that, just kind of getting
Aye,
bigger and stuff.
uh-huh.
That reminds me of that, and like Rival Schools and all these bands where I just kind of it was fucking
because it's
Jimmy World,
like,
but
it
just
was
amazing,
But 11 years ago, it was
just
brilliant.
amazing bands.
Because that's
just
what I'm saying. The
fucking
reason
boom.
Vertigo Bliss album for me has those memories is because that's when I sort of properly get into them. As that was getting released,
Yep.
and Questions and Answers gave them their first top 20.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And it was kind of like, or it was the top 40. I think it was in like number 30 something. So it was their first big single, and it was kind of like at that point I knew they were just this wee band from Ayrshire.
The thing is though, that song doesn't sound like anything else in that album. It's a total. It's
I
just a
don't know.
standout track. It's a
I don't know,
standout
I mean,
track.
The whole point of Vertigo Bliss was there's no big production or overdubs because it was
No, I
recorded
don't mean
live.
that, but I mean even style of tune. That's
I don't know. They're all quite poppy on that album actually.
I didn't think
It's
they
just
were.
it's just that I think in retrospect it fitted their live show.
Oh, definitely.
It was what
It was
Biffy
written for to put fucking teeth in.
It was
live,
all about
definitely.
just, you know, and you had that song, I forget the name of it now. I think it's either With Aplomb or something else, and it goes, I just wish we all could be true.
It's kind of like almost like as if it's an organ type.
Oh, and it just goes.
Yeah, that's a fucking great tune.
It's like
We
three
spoke about
chords.
this before actually.
Unreal tune, and you listen to that, lights out, headphones on, it just takes you
Yeah.
away. It's amazing.
Yeah.
There's just something about that album.
I'll be honest with you, I
because
don't
it
think
is
they've
so
got a bad
spontaneous.
album.
No, they don't. They absolutely don't.
To be completely 100% honest,
And-
I really don't.
The other thing to remember.
My least favourite album is probably the last album.
Opposites, definitely. I don't think that's that good an album.
No, I think the
I think
reason.
they could have got a really good album
a single album, but not a double album.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
The younger fans,
Love it.
I've spoken to a couple of guys, even a couple of guys the band's rehearsing here, not naming any names, but people say that's the best album. It's because it's got the best songs and it sounds the best. And I think this is what the modern thing is.
I think
It's
Puzzle's
got
like far and away.
Puzzle's great. See, the
Puzzle.
thing is for me, Puzzle's got like 3 really standout tracks, and the rest is quite filler. Because
No, see, I don't.
I think Puzzle's got
I
a
really
good
don't. I
depth.
think
it's
it's
got
just-
Superhouse and Who's Got a Match. You can kind of bounce about to.
see, those are my two favourites.
Because Evan Dies is my favourite song with a Biffy.
Yeah.
But then,
Yeah, that is good.
But then you've got Folding Stars and Machines that are just a lot more.
Aye, I do like those two.
Machines,
The
aye.
only thing that kind of soured me with Folding Stars is because I was kind of being a bit emphatic with Simon Neil, and the fact he didn't want to play that live or release it as a single because it was about his mum,
Yeah.
and they forced him to.
I thought it
So-
was his dad. Is it his mum?
No, it was his mum.
I thought it was
And what was a real
Rano.
shame.
The lyric Eleanor's a bit of a giveaway.
Aye.
No.
What was a shame was in 2000 and I think it was 2004 they supported 100 Reasons at the Barrowlands,
Yeah.
and it was the day before that happened.
Wow.
Simon, because they were on tour, his mum died. They
What?
still played the show at the Barrowlands, and obviously on stage Simon Neil was a fucking wreck.
Yeah,
Now,
no wonder.
I could be remembering this wrong, but it was definitely around about that time, and it was definitely that week, I'm sure, and he still played the gig. And it just, I think for me, that kind of annoyed me about that song, so that kind of struck that song.
Right.
It's an alright, I do like the song, but it's, for me, Biffy was always more about I think the one that encapsulates the future Biffy to what they had in the first 3 is Infinity Land. It was the crossover album.
Yeah,
It's
I
got
get
all
that.
the kind of the wackiness. But the point I was going to make a minute ago about the first 3 albums, the reason you kind of got to go, do you know what? In fact, including Infinity Land, obviously, it's the third one, is the fact that 3 years apart, it was a year,
Yeah.
and they played about 250 gigs a year.
Oh, easily.
So
easily.
they
It was
managed to do
ridiculous.
Black and Sky, then go out on tour for 10 months, then give you
Aye.
Very God Blessed, then go on tour for 10 months, then give you Infinity Land. You've got to go, fucking hell.
I think I must have seen
Where
him-
did they find time
I
to
think
sleep?
in about a year, I must have seen him about 8 or 9 times at one point.
Wow.
It was getting to that point where like, what are you doing now? This weekend I'm going to see Biffy again. Can I? Do you know what I mean? Because like,
Aye.
just
I know.
you got to say
They
hi to
played-
them and
they-
stuff. You're like,
they-
for fuck's
I know,
sake.
they were giving all the good they were giving the best. DF were behind them
But
all
the thing is
way.
though as well, like I remember Band Orco.
Of course. We've mentioned before.
Yeah, they played them constant, man. They were a great band, but they were. In fact, I was at a wedding actually. Their drummer on Saturday. But anyways,
That's right, aye.
they man, they it was pretty much between Orco and Biffy and who was going to go. At one point, they were both out as like kind of on tour together.
Ah, that's
kind
right.
of thing, and I think Orco just went fuck it. We're not really at it. And
Orco never toured anywhere near as much as them.
no, but I don't mean that. I mean, they were handed all the same opportunities.
Aye,
You know what I mean?
aye.
Because DF and stuff, they were really behind them.
Oh, aye, aye.
Because they were signed, I think they were signed before Biffy. At one point, they were totally like, here, have money, go and do this. And they're like, they just don't want to go off and be arty. And no. They didn't really practice much either. And they weren't really, like,
Aye,
they were
aye.
in it, but like when it was happening, but they were like, and they were literally handed the world at
Well,
one
that's,
point. You know what I mean? Like,
that just
fuck,
shows you. That's why,
Just,
again,
you've just got it on.
there's
mate,
so many
man.
bands like obviously the Daikinis and really worked. We've talked about
Yeah,
them before. They
yeah.
were handed things. They kind of just couldn't be arsed with it
Yeah.
and didn't do it. So it's kind
I
of
don't
like
think it was so much as they couldn't be arsed with it. I think they were kind of like,
They didn't know how
They're
to
more-
take the ball and run, if you know what I mean.
aye,
yeah, a
aye.
little bit, yeah, because like people like Chris Gordon and stuff like that, really trying to help them and stuff as well, and he helped Biffy out a lot.
Chris Gordon, Union Knives,
Yeah.
and
Baby Chaos and
Baby Chaos,
Deckard and
Deckard.
basically everything. Aye,
one of our favourite gigs with Tempercam was supporting Deckard at Tuts.
phenomenal.
Insane
First-
gig.
first
And you
I've
were
seen you
there.
guys, yeah,
And
I was
I
there.
mean, we didn't know each other.
I know,
And-
I know.
but you were there.
I know. but we enjoyed each other after the gig, so it's good. But in fact, I was out with them after that gig, so I've probably seen you about, like, if you're
Possibly.
random.
It was a
Aye,
fucking
at
great
Cars.
night.
But aye, 'cause
What's very random about that
McDavid's,
night,
mate.
on a very related note to that gig, after that gig, Scott Hutchison of now Frightened Rabbit fame
yeah,
came down and met me after the gig because he went to school with my cousin, as I've mentioned before. That's the tenuous link I've always
Yeah.
mentioned, Frightened Rabbit. So we went out and got absolutely shit-faced after that gig and had the best time. Scott disappeared. And what was amazing is, for me
and
personally...
returned several years later as Frightened Rabbit.
Pretty much. Well, that's the thing. I was going to say, that night we were talking about how... I don't know if I've mentioned this in the podcast before, but
I think you mentioned it to me.
we were
I think you mentioned
standing... I might have mentioned it at some
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
We were standing... I remember I was getting money at the bank at one point, and he was just sort of standing there and going... He's like, oh, sorry I couldn't make the gig and all that. He's like, me and Colin were trying to get down. Colin's my cousin. And he's like, look, it's good that it's going well. It's good that you're playing a lot. And I was like, so what about you though, man? I've not seen you play for a couple of years. And he went... And he's like, well, you know, I've wrote a few songs, and I've got a gig next week. It's like my first gig, really. I'm just doing a solo gig, and that was the first Frightened Rabbit
fucking
gig.
the Greys. He's
That's what he was
Jesus,
writing.
man.
That's what he was writing. Yeah.
So
It just shows you it's crazy. And that'd be pre-Greys, because he was still with the girlfriend from Big Brother.
Yeah.
Who the songs in the Greys became about.
Slut!
Slut! So where are you now?
Do you know what? Thank you for every fucking single song in their second album. Thank you for being a bitch, because you made one of the best breakup albums of all time possible. Thanks for
exactly
that. Thanks.
But
the irony though as well is she fucked off to become famous.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? He chased her all upset. I don't know why I get into too much. That's kind of a bit behind the scenes, but and then basically comes back heartbroken without her, and pretty much writes a what do you call it? Midnight Organ Fight. I mean,
but I'm sure he split with before the first album came out.
No,
because it was 2006 they broke up.
Because I remember on Big Brother they'd mentioned that he was in a band and stuff and all that.
But the thing is, Greys came out in 2007. Because
there's a really, really awkward interview, and I think it's Tom McRae. It's on you. I think it may have been taken down. I'm not sure, but if you look through the ridiculous amounts of interviews they've got, but there's one where I told you this before. He's getting interviewed, and like, is it Tom McRae? I can't remember. Some of the enemies basically interviewing them, and he's like that. So guys, I bet you are just like that every time he goes out with someone. Like, yes, I hope he gets done to write another classic album. And it's so awkward. It's like, and they just look at him as if, no, too soon.
But I think it's probably
he's for top of himself here, man.
What's the album that's got "It Takes More Than Fucking Someone to Keep Yourself Warm"?
That's Midnight Organ Fight.
That's Midnight Organ Fight. Cool, because that's the one after. That's the one after her. So it must have been the Greys. But either way, it was either that or Another Girlfriend in the second album, because the first album was definitely about her name. But to branch back to the Biffy point I was saying, at that point it was kind of like they were still grounded enough to write the albums and record them, as well as go out and tour them. Whereas now they're doing probably only a little bit more touring wise, but obviously it's more worldwide. But they're obviously, the reason things like Opposites probably comes across as more, not as appealing to like maybe a bit more of a sophisticated music fan, is because you can hear the overthinking and the cogs and the wheels have gone on too long, and you just get the song done and blah blah. So I think there's a spontaneous thing that needs to happen with music.
Absolutely.
And, I mean,
got a spark.
And see, back then for that Infinity Land, when that came out, like I seen them, they were still doing. They did a Kerrang thing. They were still doing these cool little gigs where they'd go. This is what happened. They went to a girl's house that I know and played in her flat in Glasgow.
That's cool.
And this was covered by Kerrang, so it was like actually like a 4-page thing in Kerrang. It was really good fun. So the story was you were supposed to turn up as if you didn't know it was happening.
Dressed as a turn up.
But we never really been
turnip. Turnip is a turnip.
Yes.
And basically,
don't you fucking dare touch that button.
But it's
I've seen you doing it, and I was like, fucking leave it, let it go.
He did it for me.
I didn't stop you the last time.
So, like, we got there, so, you know, it was kind of awkward, because obviously you were getting told, like, it just so happened that we were quite friends with these people, and it was like kind of the small group of folk. We're all quite sort of like, oh, we knew we'd be the ones to go and do this thing. So, we weren't allowed to mention it to anyone. But, like, my girlfriend at the time, I was like, well, can I bring her with me? And she's kind of like, right,
she
but no one else.
She will suck my dick.
Oh, it's like
clean.
Exactly. It's like, there's nothing. You know, I can't mention it to anyone else. So you turn up, and obviously there's a few other folk had done this. So what was meant to be about 20 folk was
about 100.
Well, it was nearly about 40. Because obviously,
Jesus.
bearing in mind it was a living room, it wasn't like it was a venue, so you couldn't get that
Kind
many
of what we
folk
done
in
here.
it. But it was exactly the same idea. So then Kerrang, the way they were doing it was like they were surprising a fan. But what
That's not a surprise.
I know. Well, that's the thing.
The worst kept secret in Glasgow.
Well, no, if you find the article, in fact, I wish I might still have it somewhere. You can actually see it online. I actually videoed it. I'm the only person that's got a full video of it.
Seriously?
I took my camcorder, and I've always been meaning to try and put it online, because I was at a time.
I would get about 1 million hits.
At a point, I was thinking about selling it, and I thought, no, that's just shite. That's just shite to do, because it's been
Really?
it's been
Really?
10 years
Give
now.
it me and I'll hold on to it.
It's been exactly 10 years.
I'll split the money.
And
Yes.
basically I thought to myself, oh well, I'll put it online at some point. I'll get there eventually, because what happened was the story was meant to be they turn up. Obviously, don't want to go on too long about it. They turn up. Oh, we're playing. We're fucking. Oh, Biffy's at my door. This is how Kerrang wrote it in the thing. But obviously, it'd all been prearranged. Obviously, because they came and they fucking didn't sound check. Because the whole point was it was in a flat.
Wait a minute, there's amps in this living room.
Oh no, exactly. I know.
How did they get here?
But because
I've been sitting here watching these there's a fucking night. Turns out there's a bastard band setting up.
I know. It's like, I know.
What's happening?
That's my favourite band's arse blocking the telly there.
Mum and Dad must be redecorating the house again with amps and fucking drum kits and shit.
That's a Marshall coffee table.
Aye.
But so the whole point
drum
was
kit phone table.
they couldn't obviously sound check, because the neighbours would hear it, and obviously that would be it. Game's gone. That's it. We're done. So they had to literally just kind of go, right, that's about the right level. Right, cool. Drums are the drums. Fine, that's cool. Just turn the mics on a little bit. We all sat down. Obviously, we only got there about 10-15 minutes before they started playing, and we just kind of thought, what's going to happen here?
This is an odd setting.
Because we're just about, you know.
So me mum coming in with tea and that for folk. It's just really odd.
Well, no, I mean, I thought obviously it was all.
I'm joking.
We were all. I mean,
it's a fucking comedy music podcast.
Well,
Let me have one moment.
No, but what annoys me is because I was going to say the point I was going to make was a better gig would have been in our drummer's parents' house at the time. And again, this was why it was like they'd obviously put it online and went, does anyone want Biffy to play in their house? Get in touch. And then obviously the Kerrang thing was like, it was maybe a surprise. This was the kind of the irony of it, because they'd said this about a month before.
Which is
so
silly.
I'd submit. So what they'd asked was, give us like sort of rough dimensions of the room, location, blah blah blah. Is there any other
rough dimensions? It's square.
Aye, exactly. I know.
Fucking room.
Exactly. I mean, obviously, I can't remember exactly what was asked.
It has walls.
But,
it's got a ceiling.
So I thought, hang on a minute, he's got a studio in his house. That's where Tempercam started. So we thought at the time that's where we rehearsed. I thought, well, hang on a minute, this is meant to be, surely. So I was like, right, cool. So this is a total shoe-in. Didn't even get a reply, and it turned out it was purely convenience because of where it was in Glasgow and blah. So it was like fair enough. But we
Your
also
parents' house would have been a cracking gig.
even there, and the thing is as well, because I think they wanted the whole point I'm about to get to. I think they wanted this to happen because
the girl whose flat it was a ride.
Because it's more expensive. Well, yeah, she is a bit. I still know her actually. Her name's Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
But
we're coming for you.
I don't think you'll be listening to this, Lisa, but it's fine. Obviously,
on account is yours are melted off since the gig.
Exactly. Oh, it was loud, and that's my point.
You're going to say that.
So it's right off Argyll Street. So it's that street in between like George Square and Argyll Street. It's like it was quite expensive flats, quite posh flats. So we're literally like the buzzing of excitement. Like, what is going to happen? They started playing, and obviously it was screaming loud. It was like the whole furniture was moving.
Fucking hell.
So they had no set list. They were basically going, right, guys. They were kind of embarrassed, obviously, because it obviously wasn't entirely their idea. They'd kind of obviously been, oh, guys, look, Kerrang want to do this thing. You know, they'd been kind of pushed into it a wee bit.
Totally.
So they were kind of like, this is all, guys. Hi, we've met you all quite a lot.
We know you.
We do know you all, right? So it's kind of like fuck. So they played like one song.
Surprise!
They played like a couple more songs, and then obviously we could see neighbours
and
like
police coming up and
going crazy outside. So the fucking windows are open as well because it was hot. Because everyone's in this living room. It was tiny. It was screaming hot. So they're playing, and then all of a sudden you couldn't hear it, but the police somehow got in because they're standing. They just sort of crept in. They didn't stop it. They waited till whatever song it was, like 6 or 7 songs.
That's awesome.
They waited until they were finished. Then they went, they're like, right guys, blah blah blah. So they obviously had no idea what was going on.
Fuck it was playing.
So the neighbours downstairs apparently shat themselves and just phoned the police. The police blutered the front door in, but none of us could hear it
because the fucking music was
yeah,
playing.
we couldn't hear or feel a thing. So this gold fucking solid steel, like gold plated latch that was on the door was I mean, this thing weighs about the size of a person. This thing, do you know what I mean? The chain coming off it. This came clean off the door. The police rattled it in because they obviously thought this is a house party that's got out of hand.
It's getting out of hand in such a way where there's a fucking rock band playing in it.
So it's like such an incredible because so the police stayed and they actually posed for photos and stuff like that. So
they've now been let go.
I know. But honestly, what an experience though, because at the time Biffy to me were a big massive deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
So seeing them in a living room and then the police charge in and obviously Kerrang, the way they wrote it was like the police came thundering through the door and crashed the party.
But nobody gave a fuck. He's like, alright.
It's just, it was hysterical. So yeah, hopefully I can get that fucking video online because it's only about half an hour long.
That's really cool.
That, because it was obviously cut short. I thought one song, two songs.
Obviously put it on the podcast thing. Just get the ratings right through the fucking room.
That's a fucking great idea. A future podcast
what we're going to do is
special.
we'll do a commentary on it. There you go.
That's kind of boring.
That'd be
it's not boring. It involves us.
Isn't it funny how Colin's never get any good ideas?
I know.
Biffy doing some songs. Oh wait, it's the Rozzers. Games are
let's talk over it.
No, it's like,
let's
shit,
speak
I've
over
only
it.
just opened my beer and it's gone. Oh, it's finished.
Oh well.
Yeah.
I had that idea one time, mind. The one about the thing. That was good. That's a good.
The
idea.
one about the thing.
Yeah, the thing. Yeah.
The movie. The thing.
The movie.
So what else are we talking about? Obviously, big gigs, killers. On my birthday,
which was 3 days ago.
Good man.
Yep.
Get the spot on there.
I know.
Did I? Fucking A.
Or 5 or 6 days whenever you listen to this on YouTube.
He's fucking July-August.
October.
Stop.
Let's just mix months up now.
I was going to say that.
Ogrel.
But it's
Ogmus.
There's nothing ends
Happy
in
Ogmus.
miss. What ends in miss?
Never been a chance to
Oh, happy August, the month of Christmas. Oh, fuck me.
My school was
the
shite.
Cortinas and Miles Kane's support for Killers. Cortinas have just put out their new album.
Massively average kind of bands, in my opinion. All in. I don't.
That would be the Killers then.
I was going to say, I'm not like head over heels, let's go and fucking piss in each other's mouths excited about the Killers, but
Wouldn't that be
And
great?
God knows we've been head over heels wearing heels, pissing each other's
exactly.
mouths.
But
aye.
I think there's something about that kind of band though. It'll have that festival experience
Aye.
thing
Oh,
going on, you
definitely,
know. And I think
definitely.
it's going to be a good night. Bella Houston raving it up. Because don't forget, David Guetta just done that on Saturday. So
David Guetta needs to just be swallowed up with the earth, doesn't he?
Aye.
It's just not my thing.
I'm not a fan, but I'm not like, oh, he's brilliant. I think
I don't get it.
the purpose of what he does, it serves a purpose.
Does he not just flick switches and put on? Aye.
Aye. Turn it on and off again. You
But
know?
it's better than what a lot of people in that kind of genre of music do, I think.
Do you know what? See, to make that kind of music and stuff as well, though, there's a bit of thought and a bit of effort goes in, right?
Oh,
get that right.
absolutely.
No, I mean, it's not an easy thing to do,
It's
right?
really not
And
easy.
a lot of people, what really pisses me off is seeing people like demean these artists by going, aye, but all you're doing is sitting in a field playing records, right? Yeah, yeah, right. And there's not a lot of skill involved in that.
There's an
to
art
a
to the
degree.
mixing and all that
But
kind of
see if
stuff
you were
like
able to pull that shit off live, actually doing stuff like with instruments and people playing keyboards, I think more people would be kind of more sort of, alright, I get it. Whereas a lot of people are into bands and music are kind of like, fuck off, they're cheating almost. You know what I mean?
Well, obviously, David
But-
Guetta literally is a laptop and pretty
Yeah.
much not
Aye.
much else.
Yeah. So
So
that's what I'm saying. No, you know my point I'm trying to make though is like I think a lot of people see someone on stage just playing records or playing and they think they're cheating, they're at it. Fuck
well, that's
off.
what annoys
But
about it so
that
much
pisses
because
me off.
somebody like David Guetta,
I'm trying to explain that.
and Calvin Harris,
Yeah.
it's kind of like it's hard
I'm
for the,
sticking up for them here.
Well,
Like,
no,
I'm sticking up for them.
it's no. I mean, the way I'll stick up for them is the fact that they have to do that because there's no
'Cause
point.
there's
There's
no
no
way
point
you
in them going.
Well, they can't get the
Back-
folk they've sang with them, the guest artists.
I'm not
and
sure if
stuff
you
like
could
that.
recreate. I don't. It's not. I don't even think you could recreate that kind of thing live as well. Because I mean, you probably could, but the amount of just
What I
the
mean is-
logistics of it live.
What I
would
mean
be
is
bonkers.
live.
Couldn't do it.
Obviously, you could have very talented drummers, going for the drum beat parts.
Yeah,
and get
yeah,
bass, but see for
I
some.
don't think a drum beat part's the hardest part though.
No, it's not. But I mean,
probably the easiest part.
it's more for the visual aspect.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
thinking it's like. But what I think the problem is, someone like David Guetta, he has like a #1 album that's got like 6 #1 singles off it. The problem is, there's so many logistics to get together that
Yeah.
I think folk would rather, his fans of that music would just rather go and see him on stage,
Yeah,
just
totally.
to say we're near him.
Yeah.
So it saves them money because they're turning up and going, right, he can literally turn up in a fucking small bus off his little private
Yeah.
jet with a laptop and not care.
Aye.
He's probably got a different laptop in each country just in case.
Aye.
He's at like 3 massive houses across the world, stuff like that. And it's amazing. It's only happened
minted.
to him in the last like 5 years.
I can't remember. There was a thing on about what he'd made from the last album. And it was fucking insane money.
Oh, it's
Like,
crazy.
good on you, man. Fair
But
play.
the point I was going to make was, it's the stuff behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah.
Writing and recording that is difficult, but at the same time, you've got to still do it.
Aye.
Yeah,
You're
totally.
going to have sleepless nights for weeks and months writing,
Absolutely,
and
aye.
coming up with these things and going to studios and working on it. So
Aye.
obviously, the live show is more or less play a
Play.
laptop and then hit a few notes to change it now and again.
Yeah,
Different-
jump
but,
a bit stage.
But what else are you going to do? So I mean,
Exactly.
fair play to it.
Aye.
He's got to somehow mute the porn at the same time as well. So
Yeah, but that was my point though. It just rails me when see me there's like people who are in bands. Like, everyone's got their own wee clubs, right? And I get that,
Aye.
but I think there's a lot of people that are just a bit harsh with. They obviously don't know how to make that kind of music, or they're not.
Aye.
They're not in that. We're kind of lucky in a way because obviously I've worked with like, James in the studio and stuff, right? So I can see how things are made and different things, right? And I can see how
Yeah,
easy
programming stuff
yeah.
isn't easy. It takes a lot of trial and error as well. You know?
Well, you don't just fucking wake up and be able to do that as well. It takes a lot of fucking sleepless nights pissing about.
Oh, I know that.
You know what I mean? So when people think, oh, you just fucking throw it together and that's it, fixed. It doesn't work. These songs didn't just fucking magic themselves, and that's what annoys me. There's a lot of people out there that think like are playing, but it's usually musicians. I don't want to fucking stand on a field and watch a guy playing records all day. Fuck him, he's a dick. No, stop. Just because the guy's doing that doesn't mean he's fucking talentless. Do you know what I mean?
He is a dick,
He's done
but-
he's done his work by it. It's like you playing all your records, whatever, and then you get to play it, something, and you should stand on stage, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
It's maybe not the best way to do it if you're in a band, okay, but it could be done.
Obviously,
You know
look
what I
at
mean?
someone like, say, Beyonce or Katy Perry who's got big shows.
Yep.
They accent that
course it
with
does.
the fact that they have colours, they have lights, they have
Yeah.
dance routines, all
Of course
that.
it is.
Because at the end of the day, it would be pretty mundane to just see them standing there singing
Exactly.
it. So,
But I think you just fuck
and
up.
I tell you what,
Just fuck up if you don't like it. Shut
and I
up.
tell you something actually that's interesting. I mean, obviously we got.
So I get in
we
this.
got-
I
we got
actually got
onto
into debate
this
earlier on today about this. This is
we
why I'm
got
so
on this
annoyed.
from the Killers gig, which obviously is a band playing live. But the point I was going to make about
Yeah.
people standing on stage is when I saw Dizzy Rascal at Wicker Man.
Oh, here we go. I was at Wicker Man calling you.
That
weren't I?
was well.
I'm
It's
joking, I'm joking.
just about this guy. I mean, I thought I'm going to hate this because it's
Yeah.
going to be a guy rapping on stage and doing a little bit of singing, whatever, now and again when it happens. But it was really awesome. It really was a great, and it was only a DJ guy, MC, whatever the
Yeah.
fuck his name was, and then Dizzy, and then this other guy. That was it. That's all there was, and it was all about the light show and the kind of the interaction.
cool, man.
And it shows you it does work.
Oh, definitely. Prodigy have been doing it for years.
And I was going to say Prodigy as well because they've got a thing where they are exciting to look at.
Yeah, they are
brilliant,
fucking.
like,
They have things
Do you
going
know
on.
what? They never used to be like that. Don't be fooled with that. I remember seeing them way before that.
You mean like 90s?
Yeah, and they weren't. It wasn't till Firestarter came out. That's when they changed their image and stuff, and like his hair was all wacky and stuff, and we got all cyberpunk kind of stuff. They weren't always like that. They were very kind of like you're kind of.
Well, they could afford hair gel by that point, you know.
Well, his hair did fall out, so you know.
Aye.
But no, you know, I just remember before Firestarter, they were that kind of acid house trippy. You know what I mean? That was that kind of dancing a bit
Happy
like
to hide
Neds,
away.
basically.
Aye,
Basically,
aye.
they were all kind of Neddy, kind of jump a bit that kind of way, and then they come back with fucking just. The fuck are these guys selling? Jesus
Time
Christ!
to wreck the shop.
Yeah, it's fucking hell, man. But they put on a phenomenal show, man. But yeah, so aye. So is that us for this week?
No, we'll do one more thing. We'll do
yeah?
one more thing.
Twin Atlantic.
Twin Atlantic, because it's topical for the week. The album's just came out this week. Now this could be interesting because I mean I've
not heard this album
Let's.
myself, so I
we
can't
don't need to dwell on the fact that Heart and Soul was a bland single. Brothers and Sisters was a bland single. I'm not a fan of theirs anyway. Really, I think
No, I'm
they're
not a fan
there.
of
They've somehow managed to make it quite famous
Aye,
now.
fucking good on them, man.
And I'm saying good on them, but I don't understand why.
Yeah,
but
I'll tell you why. Money.
well,
Money's been
Well,
put
I
in
mean,
them.
it's funny
Money's
because
been
the
put
thing
in
is,
them.
the Red Bull thing actually is quite good in their favour. From what I've heard and know, their deal is pretty damn good. Like, they're not in a position where they're getting fucked over.
Yep.
They're making money, and they actually are getting a lot of creative control. But of course,
I
they
didn't know
are
that.
getting a lot of money pumped into them as
Aye.
well.
I heard
Um,
it the other way round. I thought it was they were getting a bit of money put in, but they were getting told this is what you do.
Oh yeah, because this is interesting, right? So this is from now I don't know if is it Craig McGee that runs GlasgowMusic.co.uk. I think it might be.
I think so.
I think it is because he does the Glasgow Music newsletter every.
It's just my glass iPhone. It says,
There you go. Pop it back in.
"Yay!"
I don't even know what that's meant to be. That's like Mario coming
I
out the
was
pipe.
like, no, I was at Mario getting drowned in a pipe.
Fuck knows what I'm trying to do here. Like fucking cunnilingus on the mic. Anyway, from cunnilingus
Leave
to
that alone.
Twin Atlantic. But the review they put up of the album was some guy. It wasn't Craig McGee. It was some guy wrote this review, and it's quite funny because this is an excerpt from it that I'll read you. Twin Atlantic still maintain their status as an alt-rock band at heart throughout. I am
At
an
heart?
animal. Hang on. I am an animal and fall into the party, still showing they can still do sharp, fun rock and roll songs. I am an animal is pish, but they seem to have made a conscious decision to write songs to appeal to the masses and to suit mainstream radio simultaneously. Now, if Tom DeLonge grew up in Glasgow and decided to front a band and call themselves Blink 180 U2, then you'd get the idea. Now that's quite a clever line, and what's kind of funny for me is I remember, and I know probably say 50 odd folk as well in bands in Glasgow will remember, if they were paying attention at the time, when Twin Atlantic started. The very start of Twin Atlantic, and I think Sam, the singer's previous band, I think more so the previous band, he had the Tom DeLonge Strat, and Blink 182 was his favourite band, and he sang in a thick American accent. Now that's an interesting line because you can tell that he's clearly sort of fighting this urge to sort of go big mainstream radio American rock. But I think for me that's why it's not working, because his voice is irritating for what they're
It's
now
forced.
doing. It's very forced on top of the
I've
music.
said that all along.
Because
That's
what
pissed me off him.
I've heard of the new album, like I Am an Animal and all that kind of stuff, it's like they're trying to do these big anthems, and that's not even the biggest one. There's some on there that are literally like, you know, the Brothers and Sisters single, where it's just like da 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 da. It's just
Yeah,
simple chord progressions. There's the rest of the album's all like that, and it's all very, very basic stuff. And this guy's saying they're managing to keep their sharp fun. No, they haven't. The new album is bland, and I heard about a minute of each song, and I just thought, fuck this shit, fucking wreck the table.
I think,
fuck this motherfucker.
I think we maybe kind of moved on that level because I hate it, but Heart and Soul gets stuck in your head, and it'll get stuck there for a week where you kind of do that. You're doing the whiny voice in your head. And,
exactly.
You do. I put my hand on the generator.
Exactly. It is, because that's where his voice is overly pronounced.
It's the worst version of that ever. That's almost as bad as his.
But that's better than his.
Oh, no.
No, but again, I mentioned this in the podcast.
We're not hating these guys, right?
No,
if
we're
you
not.
like it, you like it.
If you like it, you like it. But what I'll say is, on a topical, political...
There are better bands out there doing...
Oh, aye, fuck aye, of course there are.
Better, yeah,
but on a topical, political statement about the band, what you said about Heart and Soul is, that was the song, as I've said before, I don't know the exact source, but this is true. The point I was going to make was, Heart and Soul was to save the album from being shelved.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I said it before, they were told, step up or fuck up, basically. This is not happening unless you give us a fucking single. They didn't, which basically, in my opinion, means they thought none of the rest of it was single worthy. So he went, alright, Heart and Soul it is, and they gave him it. They went, right, cool, that'll be you guys making money now. And it just shows you it works. So the business brain saved him, even though he wasn't going to write that song.
Yeah.
He stripped it back, made an obnoxious, annoying little tune, and it worked.
Do you know what?
There you go.
Fair play, John.
So again, fair play.
They're not going to a 95 job.
It almost kind of worked the same in the backwards way for Weezer. Remember?
Yeah, definitely.
Pork and Beans.
Yep. Aye, that's right. We spoke about that before as well.
He was obviously angry about. They said there's no singles on here, so he's like, right, I'm going to write you an anti-single, and it ended up being the catchiest, massive hit for them. It brought them back in 2007. But it's just I hate the works. The way it all works.
Yeah. Yeah,
but yes, that's we'll have more bands making new albums next week on the show.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we should actually do that, an album review for James every week, and just have James shout into the mic how much he thinks they're dicks.
When I've only listened to a minute of
their song. Yeah, it's only 36 weeks.
30 seconds all you need, to be honest with you.
I thought all you needed was love.
Oh, the button's not there.
Ah, this guy. No, you know, but. I kind of get why they're probably like, fuck it, man. Because at the end of the day, there's no musician out there. I don't give a fuck who you are. Somebody goes, write me a single, right? Okay, or whatever, or write an album. You go to an album and they go, it's not very good. And you go, shit, back to drawing board. You're going to do it because you're so close to doing something and not having to work in your shop or work in your fucking restaurant or go to your shitty office job somewhere. If you can do something you love doing, do you know what I mean? I mean,
again, don't begrudge anyone. I'm not begrudging anyone to pick a guitar up and try. It's just that in their specific case, and obviously there's a load of bands in the world, I just don't understand why they get so much acclaim. It just doesn't make sense to me.
There's a million bands out there like that. I mean, to me, the Killers have got one good album. That's their first album. After that,
do you know what I've realised getting ready for this gig? They've actually got one good album, and it is the Greatest Hits. Again,
what's your favourite album? The Greatest Hits.
Again, I've said this so many times. It just shows you that they really only managed to pull like maybe
a single
per album, maybe two, not even.
Maroon 5 are a prime example of that. Like,
no, they're primed for roasters.
Don't like them.
Primed for roasters.
Don't like them.
No one's steal
but
them.
like they seem to maintain that having one or two smashes from every album.
Aye. You're right though. I mean, they're not a band where you'd go, oh, that's a great album, listen to it. They survive on their singles. Yep. I didn't even know the Killers had as many albums as they do.
I saw like 5 albums.
Like five albums, I think.
Yeah,
like, what?
It's fucking ridiculous.
5 albums in like 10 years.
Can't stand. My girlfriend loves them, and I just wish I was.
There's nothing to hate about them, I don't think.
I don't know, man. I don't know. There's a lot.
Oh, he's a cock, but I mean,
there's a lot of hating there. A lot of hating.
I mean, Are We Human or Are We Dancer? The bad English there.
Just
the bad grammar annoys me.
That's what I was going to say. Grammar there's just fucking embarrassing.
And there was a guy that was like, what do you mean? That sounds fine.
Is it song Bones as well? Is it Bones? That's fucking... It was like
That's the Star Trek guy.
Tim Burton done the video for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's like...
I have not seen many of the videos, to be honest with you.
The video
You're not missing much.
No, I was going to say, I mean...
It's maybe this really cool video, and it's not. It's just fucking pretentious wankery. It's just awful. Their videos are just exactly like them, and it's marketed to people that are... I don't know. They come across to me as... They're marketed to my parents. It's like to make my parents think they're edgy. You know what I mean? Like, when they're not, that's just fucking rubbish.
As edgy as a wooden spoon.
Aye, just fucking...
As a rubber balloon.
I know, full of skelfs, know what I mean, and they just the ending.
I imagine a rubber balloon full of scalps.
No! Rubber scalps.
Full of scalps is a good name.
Oh, imagine condoms with scalps. How horrible would that be?
Oh, you get those.
How would you mind you put it on the right way?
You get those anti-rape things, don't you? And it's in Africa. You're like, that used to do the rounds on Facebook. The picture used to get shared, and it's like a condom in reverse. Girls wear it, and the what? Obviously, they get the
like a dental dam.
No, it goes right in. Imagine like getting a condom and they put it inside them first of all. Obviously, it's more rigid to stay open, but the inside of the condoms get spikes on it. So basically, no. This is the best.
What is wrong with people?
I will share this to show you later on. Before I forget, it's like so the way it works is imagine the teeth go. Imagine like a car going over spikes, that kind of thing.
Oh my!
So if you're getting raped, your dick goes in. Bang!
It's not coming back.
It grabs it the wrong way.
Rip spits.
So you think, well, that's fine. That's a bit weird.
So
pull back.
That's not
That's horrible, isn't it?
Is that cats like that as well? Naturally, isn't it?
Yes.
Duck.
Yeah, duck as well. Duck, cat, anything else?
Badgers.
I hear a giraffe. No, I'm joking.
Porcupines all over.
Yeah.
But ducks are like that because the males have got like corkscrew cocks or some strange.
Imagine they spin them round. They're stuck.
Oh, fucking light bulb. Right, are we going to check out this one because Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to, apologise for the last hour and a half.
Yeah. There's that your raid siren again.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for listening, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hugs and kisses in your pink parts.
Is that round of golf?
This ain't a call for riot. This ain't a call to home, or a prayer for sweet Apollo in the dust of ancient Rome. All roads lead to somewhere, but all travelers die alone, and the paths are old and crooked anyway. This ain't the devil's work, son. This ain't an act of God. The angels are sitting this one out, drinking cider in the park. All good souls burn in heaven, you can see them after dark. Also sailors lost at sea can find their way, while all our sinners wrapped and covered, bathed in soap and holy water, pour the dirt right down the gutter, sleep in God's house all together. Well, I'm not scared of dying, I'm more scared of broken bones. No one else would want to wrap their fingers round these chords. It's not hard to write a love song, soon the audience gets bored. When no one's looking, I swear I'm not here at all. Are the clocks all ticking faster, or am I just living slow? Is this all just a game to you? Well, it's a game to me and all. Press space to skip the cutscenes. There's a warp in level 2. No surprises, roll the credits. Congratulations, you fucking did it. Now take a bow now, grin and bear it. 100 fools die every minute. Now your world has ceased its spinning. We can dance upon the ruins. We will learn from all your mistakes, and we will live like life has meaning for a while.
The mighty heart made meek by the soft tones never spoken, and I'm far too short to speak. Propped up by bones unbroken, so spare a thought for me. Oh, take off your clothes, and it's a tryst of coldness sea, and in a fiery hell we'll choke. It's a tongue tangled affair, and that tastes so bittersweet. Pale men just sparkled here, and I'll admit defeat. So spare a thought for me. Oh, take off your coat, and it's a tryst of coldness sea, and in a fiery hell we'll choke, and we'll choke, we'll choke. And the echo of farewell, don't hold for me no water, and the toll of a wedding bell leads a groom to the slaughter. So spare a thought for me. Oh, take off your coat, and it's a tryst of coldness sea, and in a fiery hell we'll choke, choke, we'll choke.